It's been a tough couple of weeks here on my end, I'm not gonna lie. So in this video, I wanted to talk about self-sabotage, what it is, why we do it, and how to stop. Hey, it's your girl Abby, aka New Age Coach here. I'm lighting the way for those on their way to the lights. And to my soul vibers, that is those of you who are already subscribed, thank you. Anyone new just tuning in, welcome. On this channel, we talk all things self and soul development. So if you like that vibe and want to join the tribe, hit subscribe. I've been saying I want to live a healthier lifestyle, yet I've been eating pizza and french fries and really bad food for the last couple of weeks. I've been saying that I want to dive deeper into my spirituality practice, yet I have been refusing to stick to a daily meditation practice, to write my thoughts down in a journal, to show my gratitude, and to just be still and really listen to myself. I say that I want that love and human connection and relation with people I care about, yet I distract myself with social media and TV and things that are not important. And I've been mean and acting out lately to those that are closest to me. So what is self-sabotage? Well, the first thing I want to point out is that the word self is in this term, meaning it is inflicted by ourselves to ourselves. And what it is really when we actively or passively or consciously or subconsciously, it doesn't matter, but it's basically when we prevent our own selves from reaching our own goals and getting what we actually want out of life. And this behavior can infiltrate in many different ways and many different aspects, from our career goals to our fitness goals to our life goals. Any goal that you have, it can get in the way of that. And it's just an incredibly frustrating, and I speak from personal experience making this video lately. It's a frustrating cycle that just, it makes us feel stuck and self-helpless, and it ultimately lowers our self-confidence and our self-esteem and our self-worth. In short, self-sabotage is behavior that keeps you at a distance from what you want most in life, what you crave in life. It's behavior that stands in the way of your goals. So why do we self-sabotage? That is the million-dollar question that I have been asking myself lately. And I don't think that there's one singular answer or one best answer or, one critical answer. I think there's a variety of reasons, and we're all on our own journey and trying to figure out what those reasons are for ourselves. With that said, I'll give a couple examples of why we self-sabotage, but again, this doesn't mean it's your reason. We'll talk later in the video about how to recognize self-sabotaging behavior and again, how to mitigate it. So one example of a reason why we might self-sabotage can be that we want to place blame somewhere else. We don't want to be accountable for something. So for example, it's this mindset of, I won't get that contract anyway, or I won't be able to afford this luxury bag because X, Y, and Z anyway. So I'll just continue doing this. And when we have that mentality, then it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy where that then comes true. On the spiritual journey, we know that our thoughts are things, and when we're thinking that way negatively, we're manifesting that into our reality. So of course we're not going to get that dream job or that contract or that expensive thing in this example. It's basically a guarantee to fail when you think that way. And it's almost like accepting it as is what's giving you leeway to say, it's not me that failed, that's just the way it is. So it takes the responsibility out of your hands when you have that mindset. That's one reason we self-sabotage. We don't want to have to own that failure if we were to fail, or even taking that risk in the beginning, because that's scary. And something on this spiritual journey that I have come to learn so deeply and so truly that resonates for me is taking accountability, taking responsibility, and understanding like how much accountability you have for every thought, every belief, every action, everything. So the reason we self-sabotage is when we're not ready to take that accountability and we're trying to protect ourselves. Another reason people can self-sabotage is because it gives a sense of control, right? So let's use an example of say getting your dream job. That just came up, right? But let's say if you want your dream job, that can be a daunting task. It involves you figuring out what that is, rewriting a resume or updating a resume if you haven't done that, working with your current employer to make sure you're leaving on a good note, not burning bridges, hopefully in that way. There's a million and one steps that have to happen. And then also it comes with the unknown, that big question mark of, what if the grass isn't greener? What am I getting myself into? What if I actually don't have the skills, right? All of that negative self-talk starts again, but it's really the fear of that unknown. You have no control over what's going to happen the minute you reach for that dream job. But what you do have control of when you self-sabotage is to do things that prevent you from ever having to take that leap of faith into the unknown, because the not writing your resume or procrastinating in doing that, and not, writing up your 2-week notice email, not getting your things in order to be able to leave, not really working with yourself to make sure this is your next right career move, right? Like, those are all things that keep you in the same comfortable space that you might be miserable at your current job, all the things that are wrong with it, how unhappy it makes you, but guess what, you already know those things, so it's comfortable, it's safe, and you're in control of that negative comfortable space. So those are just a couple examples of different ways we can self-sabotage and the why behind them, but there are so many more ways that we self-sabotage with their own reasons behind them. For example, really quickly, we have a fear of success or a fear of failure. So we do self-sabotaging behaviors on both ends of that spectrum. We overspend, or we distract ourselves, or we procrastinate, or we self-medicate with drugs or alcohol. Those are all self-sabotaging behaviors with their own underlying root causes as to why. But more importantly than talking about examples of self-sabotaging behaviors and the why behind them, I want to talk about recognizing this pattern and really steps you can take to stop. What I'm learning right now in how to recognize this pattern of self-sabotaging behavior for myself is this really quick and easy method of stopping and asking myself a few questions. The first one is, Abby, are you doing this for instant gratification? The next question I'm trying to ask myself as I recognize things that they don't sit well, and I know that I might be engaging in a self-sabotaging behavior, is, Abby, yeah, I always start with Abby. I say my name, I speak in third person. I say, Abby, are you procrastinating right now? And the third thing that I always ask myself as I'm trying to go through this process of recognizing when I'm doing this behavior is, am I focusing on defeating thoughts or negative self-talk? And if you answer yes to any of those 3 questions, like I have been doing a lot of lately, I have been answering yes, 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 yes to those, that's a good indicator some things need to change. So now we'll talk about how to stop that self-sabotaging behaviors. Step 1 is really understanding the self-sabotage and becoming aware of it, right? You can't fix a problem if you're not aware of it. That's why that activity has been so instrumental on this journey for me right now. Just stopping and asking myself those 3 questions gets me into that present moment, gets me real honest with myself as I'm answering yes, and gives me that second to reset and pivot and become aware of my behavior so that I can change it. The second thing is, once you are aware of that you are participating in that kind of behavior, you need to start asking yourself some more questions in order to be able to identify the root cause. So, for example, if I answered, am I doing this for instant gratification right now as I pick up a bag of potato chips, right? And my answer is yes, I then probably want to ask myself, why am I eating this right now? Am I even hungry? No. Am I hungry for attention? Am I hungry for something sweet? Am I sad right now? How is it that I'm feeling that's causing me to feel the need to distract myself through this food that I don't even probably want in that moment? So identifying that root cause is hugely important after you become aware that you're participating in this behavior. After you've identified that root cause, or you still continue that exercise until you do, the third thing you want to do with that information is take some time to self-reflect. You probably just learned a whole lot about yourself within these first few steps. And it's not like an instant thing. This doesn't have to be right away. It's a process, and it can be, over days, months. It's a process. It doesn't have to be instantly that you're getting all these answers. But once you pinpoint the root cause of that, take some time to self-reflect on it. How do you see this pattern playing out in other areas of your life when it comes to distraction maybe, or eating your feelings away, or trying to block your feelings through food? Where else do you see that pattern in your life? Start reflecting on how you might be able to start making small steps to change that. And also just self-reflection to give yourself space to actually feel the stuff that you are neglecting through that self-sabotage. You need to be able to get that out and feel it. The next thing, I think I'm on number 4 here for a way to kind of stop self-sabotaging, and this is kind of in a process, which is on purpose, the way I'm giving these steps, is to obviously change that pattern of behavior, like I said, and it doesn't have to be big steps, right? If you realize that you're distracting yourself by picking up food, for example, when you're feeling sad and you've come to some sort of root cause, maybe the next time you do that, if you can't change that behavior overnight, maybe the next time you go to pick up something to eat, it'll be something healthy and vibrational, and that can change your frequency into a more positive light that way. So some celery, carrot, something that comes out of the earth to connect you and ground you back, right? That's still a positive change in the right direction as you work through this. And ultimately, the last thing you want to continue to do is continue making goals, continue setting that bar for yourself, because that's going to keep you striving to overcome some of the behavior that has stopped you from reaching these things in the first place. So don't give up, be gentle with yourself. And I hope that this process, this video has enlightened you, and also doesn't make you feel so alone on this process or journey. It can sometimes feel so isolating and so hard, and just, it's a lot sometimes. And I make these videos from my heart, especially as I go through them. I'm hoping that someone out there can relate and that this has helped. And just by speaking about it, I've given myself my own answers in this video. And for that, I thank you for allowing me the space to learn with and through you on this channel. Thank you.